Alright, so last night I was trying to finish up the lower control arm video on the 68 Charger. Things went sideways on me on the driver's side control arm. I got through that. That'll be in that video. Put the torsion bar in on that side. Came to the passenger side to put the torsion bar in, was hoping to button it all up, and the header's completely in the way. So I was pretty pissed. In the video I drop a lot of F-bombs. I'm probably gonna just cut that off. We'll see. But anyway, I'm doing this video as a separate video to just address the issue with the TTI header. So I emailed them last night. They did contact me. They did reach out to me. I ended up talking to Mike and then Sam. I believe Sam is actually the owner of TTI. So I explained to him what was going on, and they're nice guys over there, and he said, take the header off and bring it down to us and we'll bend it for you. He says he has seen it before. Hemis are pretty tight. They've had them where they're touching something here or there and they have to give it a tweak to get it to clear. And so I told him, well, this isn't just like a little tweak. This is like, it needs to move an inch, I don't think he didn't sound very convinced of it. He seemed pretty confident that every header he makes is exactly the same and that the variation comes from the car. So one car to the next, it's a little different, which I'm sure that exists, but we're talking about the trans cross member and the K member. If one of those was off by an inch, you're not gonna be able to get a torsion bar to reach over an inch to the lower control arm. So I don't buy it. I ended up finding a TTI video, and they went through their process and stuff. It's a pretty cool video, and I can see where he gets his confidence from, because the jigs they have, they're basically putting the headers on there and they are like dialed in, So even though I respect his confidence that the header's right, I know it's not. I know for a fact it's not, because my 68 Coronet has the exact same headers on it and it fits fine. And these headers are not just off by like an 1/8 or a 1/16 or even a 1/4 inch. It's off by an inch. So it's way off. So anyway, they offered to help, said bring the header down to us, we'll bend it and we'll get it to fit your car. And I said, okay. I go, well, this jig that you have that you're gonna bolt it up to, does it have the frame rail, lower control arm and torsion bar and a big block that we could bolt the head to, so I know that it's gonna clear? And he said, no, the jig's not set up like that. And I'm like, well, my concern is I go through the trouble, I'm gonna have to take a day off of work, pull the head off, or the header off, run it down there, find out, he does a tweak to it, and then find out it's not, and I come back, put it in, and if it's not enough, I gotta do it all over again. So, if this was something like an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 inch or something like that, sure, but it's gotta move a lot. So I said, is this something I can do? And he says, yeah, just get like a bar or a pipe about 8 feet long and then bend it. And he said to wrap the end of the pipe, put it in the collector so you don't puncture the collector and put a hole in it or anything, just use common sense. So I said, okay, so I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if I can move it an inch, because it's kind of the whole length of the collector needs to move over. It's not like bending it to give it a tweak, one way or the other. It's like I gotta move the whole thing over, and I'm gonna walk through, I'm gonna videotape it all and walk through and show you and kind of document where it is now, try to put a pipe on it and move it. I'm really hoping this works, because I really don't want to pull the header off, and I really don't want to put, my plan B is to put a junk header over here just to keep things moving until TTI can make me a new one or fix it or whatever if I can't move it. So and this is also, I'm gonna send him this video so that he can see how far off we're talking. So my point is that even though in his mind he thinks it's a little bit, I'm gonna show that it's a lot, and there could be something wrong with his jig. Maybe it fell over, maybe something got bent and something moved. Maybe the jig used for my set was for a different application, not a 68 Charger. I don't know, but we'll walk through it. I'm going to show you what's going on, and then I'm going to bend it and see what happens. And by the way, all the guys, I posted something on Instagram last night, and I appreciate everybody giving their opinions and possible reasons why I might have issues. So one thing was the motor mounts. So the motor mounts are nowhere close to the headers. They're not hitting or anything. The motor mounts are normal stock, like length, so the engine's not sitting higher or sitting lower or anything. Something Sam brought up at TTI was that it's so sloppy, you know, maybe the motor is in cockeyed, you know, it's a little bit one way versus the other, but, you know, looking at it, it's like, it's pretty flat. I think you guys can see, you know, there's no, if there is any slight movement of the engine in the car, it's not going to move, it's not going to be off by, you know, an inch. It might be maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 or something like that, maybe even 1/4, but not an inch. That's not going to cause an inch to be off. So he's adamant that all his headers are exactly the same and it's the car that's off, but you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, no further ado, let's check it out. All right, so this is to get your bearings. Here's the control arm, there's the K member, there's the end of the torsion bar, there's the headers. All right, there's the motor mount up there. All right, so the end of the torsion bar needs to go in there. See how far off it is? It's hitting the header. It's hitting the header right there. So my concern about bending the header is that, you know, it's not just a matter of if I put leverage on this and bend it and the whole thing twists that way, that's fine, but I gotta move like this whole length that direction, because it's this whole length that's basically hitting the torsion bar. So I don't know if the header is built wrong. It seems like right up here, the way this pipe twists, that was kind of designed in for the torsion bar to possibly clear, you know, so like maybe the header should be hanging lower or something, but you can see that's way off. So, and like I said, see how far off right there. So there's about a 1/2 inch between this edge and that edge, but you got to figure the thickness of this, so maybe 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch of movement I need to do. So all right, so it's not just a little bit. And then the other concern is like, well, how far can I actually move it? You can see how close it is to the pan right there on the transmission. You know, I've got maybe a finger thickness there. I probably got to bring it all the way over to practically touch that to get it to clear the torsion bar. Alright, so I'm going to try to find a pipe and see if I can bend this thing. Before I do that, I wanted to show, you know, the motor mounts. Let's see, perfect shot right there. You can see the headers are nowhere close to it. The motor mounts are nothing special. Can't really see that one behind the oil pump, but stock height, stock motor mounts. The engine is in there pretty flat. It's not in there crooked or anything. And then something else some of the guys brought up too was the cylinder heads. Some of the aluminum aftermarket heads have raised exhaust ports on it and stuff, and maybe that the header got raised up because the ports are higher. These are the Mopar heads that I got from Freiberger in trade for General Mayhem. These heads are the Mopar, they call them the 452 heads. So the old original heads that were cast iron, the original 452 head was basically a 906 head with hardened seats. So once they started getting into hardened seats, the 906 became the 452. And then they're basically saying these heads are the replacement for that because they have hardened seats, aluminum heads. But in fact, these are actually Edelbrock RPM heads. I think Edelbrock makes them for Mopar, and they just scribe or engrave Mopar on them so that Mopar can charge you more money for them. So anyways, I double checked. I went online and looked up these heads. The exhaust port location is all stock, both sides, so there's nothing going on there. I think it actually helped. It's closer. I mean, I could almost force it in there. It's close. I mean, you could still see. So I think I need to go down towards. Let's try bending it down. Alright, I bent it that way as far as I could. I think it moved until the header was basically hitting the transmission. So now I'm going to try to pull it down, so because it's the top pipe on the, just as it goes into the collector, that is what the torsion bar is hitting. So I think I think it helped. I moved it that way, it made a big difference. Still needs more. I can't really go that way anymore, so now I'm going to try pulling it down and see if we can get the torsion bar to clear. The problem is I can't use the big long bar. I used to bend it to the driver's side because it basically hits the ground. So I'm going to use my bar I've been using for leverage and see if I can. It's not as long, so I don't know if I can get it to work. I don't know if that did anything, but let's see what happens. I mean, this is farther than I could get it before, but still needs more. All right. I think I need another plan. All right, let's see. All right. I have a tie-down strap wrapped around the header on this side, and then I have a come along over there. You can see just under the header on that side, the shirt's to keep it from scratching the header. And then I got the come along tied to the carport cover, and I'm gonna try to pull the header this way. I don't like the sound of that. Sounds like the shop is flexing more than the header. I need to move the tool that mounts the torsion bar to smack it this way. Alright, so it still isn't good. I have the come along on it, pulling it against the shop. And then I bent on the bar again, which I'm probably going to bend some more. So I was able to get the header out of the way enough, flex it over, and smack the torsion bar forward into the lower control arm. So I'm in, so that's good. But as you can see, that's still an issue. It's still hitting the pipe. In fact, jeez, move that boot down. So there's zero gap. That's freaking completely hitting it. It's a little concerning because not only is that going to rattle and stuff, I don't really like the idea of tension being on that torsion bar, and then the heat also, you know, could wipe out the bar. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe not, but I'm just gonna keep tweaking on it. Maybe I can get it to bend some more. It's freaking insane, man. I'm sorry guys, TTI. I mean, this, dude, this is way off. This is not, you know, hopefully when I started off this video, you could see how far off it was going in, and you could see how it's touching right there. It's still touching. And I got the come along pulling on it at the moment, so alright, let's try to bend some more. How's it look? Well, I mean, maybe I could get a piece of paper in there now. Fuck. Sorry, F-bombs again. This sucks, man. This just, TTI, I mean, I'm gonna send this to you guys, because, I mean, I don't know, I'm telling you, something's wrong with your jig. There's no way it should be this freaking close. No freaking way. Something went wrong. You either gave me the wrong header, it's to a different car, or your jig moved or something, you know. God. Yeah. I really need it to go down, but I don't think I can pull it down. All right, pretty good space there, huh? But I have the crowbar on top of the collector, and I'm using the jack to push it up to pull the header down. Right now there's the space I need, but I'm about to release the jack. I'm not sure. It's gonna rebound. I don't know if it's gonna, we'll see if it rebounds all the way to the torsion bar, or if I actually have clearance now. Hey! Alright! Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. Fuck. It's still tight. Look at that. Still pretty tight. Alright, I'm gonna try to bend on it some more. Same. Alright. Lower the jack. Alright, finally got clearance. Fuck yeah, sorry. Hell yeah. We're in front in the control arm. There's actually a little gap between the torsion bar and the header, which maybe it's fading, I don't know. There's still a little gap there. I'm sure when this thing is idling and shaking and stuff, that freaking header is going to be hitting that torsion bar, and it's going to sound like I got a knock in the engine. But it is what it is. That's the best I can do. So you guys at TTI, man, just I don't know, double check the lot record on these headers that I got from you guys. Make sure that the jig you used to build this passenger side header is right. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's slopping the car. That's just, it was too far out. You saw how whacked out it was on this end. You know, it was way out here because it was hitting so bad. And I'm pretty convinced if I took this to you guys, you know, you would have been on it and stuff, but I don't think you would have gotten it where I needed it. I really think I need it on the car so I could see, you know, if I need to keep going or not. So, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm gonna live with it, and I'm back on track to try to get this thing going for the duct tape drags. Alright guys, on to the next video. Clips back in. Make sure it's not going to pop out. Alright, we're in. Passenger torsion bar is in. Let's see if I can get a shot. I can kind of see the gap. Hold on, let me take a... Let's see. got a little gap now. Alright, well, TTI, and Sam, I appreciate you guys helping me out and giving me some guidance here on what to do. It was a lot. I had to bend it a lot, and but I think we got enough clearance to work. You know, I'm sure it's going to be knocking as the engine shakes against that torsion bar, but we're back in business anyway. Thank you, and that's it. Off to the next video. I just wanted to show you what I used to bend the header. It's this solid bar. It was my father-in-law's. He used it for construction stuff, to pry on things. It's pretty long. I put a rag over it, stuck it in the header to move it. I also had the header being pulled against the shop with the come along, and you saw the crowbar I had here with the jack pushing on it. It actually bent my crowbar too, which is surprising. Anyway, if you guys have a header that doesn't fit, now you know what you got to do. Alright guys, there you have it. If you got to tweak your header to get it to fit, you know what you can do now. It's not easy, but it's doable. So I'm back in business, able to start moving forward on the rest of the tasks that I need to get done so I can get this car ready for the duct tape drags. TTI, I hope you take me up and double check your jigs and stuff, and hopefully you can trace back to the jig actually used for this set that I bought. You know, whether it was the wrong jig or the jig's damaged or it's off something. If you get back with me, I'll be more than happy to convey whatever findings you have, whether the jig is off or it's perfectly fine. You know, if you come back and say it's perfectly fine, I'll accept that. You know, you know what I went through on the car. You got to see how far off it was. I wasn't, you know, full of crap. So anyway, I do appreciate your help, and your guidance definitely helped me get through this and get the header tweaked enough where we're back in business on the car. So YouTube world, we're off to the next thing. Later.